welcome all you over 1,200 fellow maniacs out there, 1,200 subscribers to this channel. Welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am, as always, the host, John, the Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10-ish minute review. Now, this was recommended by a relatively new subscriber, and I like to get those out. You know, I've got some loyal people that I always get out there requests. This was a new one. This came from at FireZ 2024. At FireZ 2024. And the film he chose, obviously new to the channel, 1992's Khiladi, or Player. Now, I didn't know that the star, Akshay Kumar, is known as Khiladi Kumar. I did not know that. Okay, before I get to the review, I have to do a disclaimer, especially for people who are new to the channel. I am not a huge fan of 90s Indian cinema. And it's no fault of the filmmakers. It's the technology that was available. It's the sound that was available, the production that was available. And to me, a lot of the 90s films look very 70s, and this one looks very 80s. So I just want to say that up front. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic. I'm definitely not a fan of the sound. A lot of the songs always sound a little high pitched to me. And the humor is a little too juvenile for me in these 90 films. Now, it doesn't mean every 90s film. There have been some that Agnipath I put in that category, even the way it was filmed was very different than typical 90s films. But Fire, I just want to set that up front about the film. Okay. So the film was directed by it's a directing duo of Abbas and Mustan. It stars Akshay Kumar, who I am a huge fan of. And I've seen, I don't know, how 20 movies of his, Baby Cocky, Airlift, Good News. I can't even tell you how many movies I've seen of him. And this was his first big hit. In fact, he was considering getting out of the business because the films he made prior to this were not a hit. And this was a big hit for him. Deepak Tijori, who I had never heard of, but I guess was pretty big back then. Ayesha Julka, Sabeeha, Johnny Lever, Prem Chopra, who I saw in Animal. Everyone else I hadn't seen in anything. Like I said, it was the first major hit that made him a star, Akshay. It was inspired by Kel Mine. I think it was directed by Neetu Singh or starred Neetu Singh. So the story is about these pranksters, college pranksters. It's really a story about college hijinks for a good chunk of the movie. And Akshay Kumar is the player. So in fact, it opens up with a scene where he's chasing somebody and he shoots him, and the guy thinks he's going to die, and it ends up being a suction dart. And that was a bet that he could tag this person with one of these dart guns. And that's how it opens. And of course, he's got the mullet. That's why it's very 80s to me. He's got the mullet. He looks great. Very young. It's so interesting to see these actors that I've really seen in more contemporary films in some of their first films. Amir Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan. To see them so freaking young, you know? But the story, okay, so it's all these college hijinks, right? And then it turns into a murder mystery. I mean, you want to talk about a tonal shift in a film. In fact, I will tell you that it took such a sharp tonal shift that I thought at the end of the film it was going to be a prank. And they were pranking the player. That's what I thought was going to happen. And I was wrong. And the reason why I thought that, well, okay, I guess before I get to that, let me go a little bit into the story. So something that's basically the story, right? So it's college hijinks. They play pranks. There's a murder. They got to solve the murder. That's the story. Okay. So there were things that happened in it. His brother is a cop, Akshay's brother, right? So that puts him in and this is what I'm talking about with the '90s. Okay. So they're these college friends. There's a group of them, right? Well, one of them is this short little guy in farmer jeans. Almost, I think the whole movie he's wearing farmer jeans, but he's got a Hitler. Excuse me, I can't say that on YouTube. They might pull it. Um, it looks like the mustache of the leader of Germany in the 30s and the 40s. Little tiny mustache, right? And I go, that's really strange. Well, of course, what then ends up happening is he's Charlie Chaplin, not the other guy. In fact, there's one point where he walks away and he does the walk that Charlie Chaplin is famous for. But the fact that they would even put that in a movie, that's a '90s thing because that they even did that in the '70s film Cholet. The guy who ran the prison camp had a mustache similar to Charlie Chaplin, but I think it was more like the other guy, if you know what I'm saying. Um, and they did things like again, this is so '90s. They would film something and they'd speed up the film for no reason. They just do it, right? But the thing that I did like was Akshay Kumar can fight. He can move. And in the fight scenes, especially that young, the guy can really move. And again, it's not that slow motion stuff that you see these old guys doing to make them look tougher. I mean, it's full speed. And he's jumping and flipping and kicking and these high kicks. So he looks great. You understand why he became a hit after this. So let's see what else about the story. Um, so yeah, I don't have to get into the plot, but okay. So here's why I thought it was a prank. So they're going to play a prank on one of their friends' fathers, Shital's father. Neelam is Raj Akshay Kumar's love interest. Shital is Bonnie, the best friend, the comic relief, played by Deepak. So they're going to play a prank on her father, pretend to kidnap her, get a ransom. And when the father pays the ransom, that'll be the prank. Okay? Well, through the course of the prank, she actually gets killed. Okay? Knife in the back. Now, the rest of the film is they're trying to figure out who did it. And the person who did it is barely in the film. So there's no hints to who it could be. So when the big reveal happens, you're like, you know who he was, but like I don't want to spoil it. It was the uncle, but it's like that's who did it, and then even the reasoning. But here's why I thought it was a prank. Once she died, and they her friends unceremoniously stuck her in a trunk. And then as the movie progressed, it was like they completely forgot about the fact, with all the hijinks that were going on, that she was dead. There was no reaction to that for the rest of the film. That's why I thought it was a prank, because they still had, they still did some funny stuff. It's not like anyone like broke down that their friend got killed. So that kind of was like, that kind of bothered me a little bit, because it was almost like it was a nice plot device to get them where they wanted to go, but there was no impact of her getting killed. Again, that's why I thought it was going to end up being a prank. So that I found that a little disturbing. So I mean, the story, I have never seen what it was based on. So I mean, the story was a two. I mean, it started off as a college, you've seen 1,000 of those. The hijinks, even Three Idiots was a little bit like that. So and then it turns into this other thing. So the story was a two. The performances were fine. I wasn't bowled over by them. Akshay Kumar's got a presence, absolutely. He was great in the fight scenes. Uh, and the guy Deepak, I thought he was okay. He did some. He was funny. He did some interesting things like in the dance numbers, which I'll get into. The performances were fine. They were a three. The women were like, especially Neela. Is that her name? Neela. She was gorgeous. Neelam, played by Aisha Julka. She was beautiful. But I mean, a great actress? I don't think so. But I'll give that a three. Now the music, and there was a lot of music, and that's also what the '90s are known for, with these big, huge musical numbers. Okay, so I want to talk about the music. So the first song after they give roses out, right? And the song was "Wherever She Goes, I'll Go," and it was like West Side Story. Guys on one side, girls on the other side. Very colorful outfits, by the way. I mean, like popped between in the song. But it was very West Side Story to me. I didn't mind that. It was kind of cute. Second song was at the swimming pool. I didn't know I would fall in love with you as they start to fall in love. Third song. So at one point, and again, this is the '90s, they dress up as women to go to an all-girls hostel where the girls are all staying. I think they're playing basketball. I think that's what, if I remember right, it was basketball. So Bonnie and Raj dress up as women, and I don't mean like they look like guys dressed up as women. They look like women, and and he ends up rooming with Neelam, and and the other one, the coach of the team, has got the hots for Bonnie, and tries to sneak into her room so they can mess around a little bit. Well, the next song is Raj reveals himself, takes off his shirt, and they do this like dance on the balcony. And this is the funny thing that they did, and he did this in another movie too. All of a sudden, him and her start playing instruments, musical instruments, but very erotically. And it was like the other movie. He ended up playing a guitar, like out of nowhere. But it was funny. It was funny the way they filmed it, and they're trying to be so erotic playing these instruments. I don't know. It just made me laugh. Fourth song was at a festival. Akshay had a gold lame suit. Now, why do I even bring that up? Because it looked like Elvis. That's why. And I like that. The fifth song, yeah, after the cover up, it was on a mountain. These were big numbers, too. These weren't little numbers. The sixth song is a big production number with the I Am Beautiful, I Am Crazy. And it was at Venus Records with The Father's Mistress. I am beautiful, I am crazy. And then at the end, there's a Vasa Raha Sanam song. So, I mean, the music, I'm not a huge fan of the giant go on forever musical numbers, but I appreciate the production value. I appreciate the color scheme, and their efforts. So I give the music a three. As far as the film goes, knowing how I feel about '90s films, look, the thing for me in this film and why I probably liked it more than I normally would have was seeing Akshay Kumar just kind of starting out and knowing what he was going to become. And for that nostalgia value, I gave it a three. The thing about these films is it looks so '80s to me, not '70s. And some of them have looked like the '70s, but this definitely looked like the '80s. And a lot of you have commented that the films, when you watch a film from like the early 2000s, it looks like a decade earlier. When you look at '90s, it looks like a decade earlier. And it is absolutely true in most of the films. I don't know why that is, but it is. So Fire Z, I hope you don't hate me. I got to be honest in my reviews, and everybody who's been watching the channel for a while know how I feel about 90s India cinema. Now, I've seen some old stuff, Payasa, Sholay, Pana Pathlai. I can't remember. I'm going to screw up that name. I've seen some old films that I've really enjoyed, and there's been a few 90s films that I've also liked. I'm not going to say I don't, but for the most part, if it's hit or miss, it's usually a miss. Now, I'm not saying a three is a miss, but again, I think the reason why I even gave it a three was because of Akshay Kumar and again realizing what he's going to become and how this kind of started it for him. So let me know what you guys think of the player. Did you like it? Did have you seen it? I don't know your ages, but maybe you haven't even seen it. Um, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Okay, good, bad, or indifferent. You can totally disagree with me. That's up to you. But let me know. I would appreciate it. Okay. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. And as always, to build the Maniac community, you got to share these videos. That's the way we're going to hit the 1,500. And then who knows where we can go, right? You and I together, the Maniac community. I'm telling you. All right. So, I need a secret word. Okay. Here we go. Secret word to see if you're sticking till the end. Iron Man. Iron Man. Okay. Got it? Iron Man. Put it in the comment section. Let me know you're sticking around to the end, okay? All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with either a trailer reaction or a 10-ish minute review. Thanks for watching, everyone.